Hello, this is class 21 of Kerala PSC HSA English. Today I am going to discuss about the poem Africa written by the Afro-French poet David Diop. Through this poem he explores the history of colonialism in Africa and expresses his hope for a better post-colonial Africa. He was deeply committed to the cause of the revival of African cultural values. And he was involved in a cultural movement called Negritude, which asserted the greatness of the black people. So, even after long years of colonialism, there is no genuine liberty because people are still ruled by civilian dictators. So, the poem Africa is an intensely moving recollection of the untold sufferings and humiliations endured by the Africans in the last few hundred years. The poem is short and it quickly moves from ancient Africa to the Africa of the times of slave trading and comes to the present day Africa. Africa, my Africa. The poet addresses his motherland in an emotionally charged language. And he is proud of the forefathers who had self respect and dignity. He remembers how he was listening to the stories of their heroism narrated by his grandmother. Though he never had the fortune to know the great Africa of the past, he admits that the blood of Africa or the blood of those forefathers flows in his veins. Next, the poet gives us a picture of the Africans who were exploited by the white people who established their colonies there. They were treated as slaves and were made to work in plantations and farms owned by these Westerners. So the Europeans made the native Africans work as farm cattle, treating them as less than animals and beasts. The painful memory of the humiliation is packed in the phrases the blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, and the work of your slavery. And their back is bent as they had to carry heavy burdens. When you see the image of Africa, you can see that bend, and the poet asks Africa, tell me, Africa, is this you, this back that is bent? So the poet attributes the bend of the back to the humiliation and insult suffered by the natives. So whipping made red scars on their body, and it makes the poet very, very angry. In the second part of the poem, we can see the Mother Africa speaks, but a grey voice answers me, impetuous child. So here the speaker is Mother Africa now, who tries her best to give consolation to the poet. She asks him not to be impatient. She points to a big tree at a distance which symbolizes the youthful spirit of Africa. And it is surrounded by white and faded flowers. They represent the colonizers from the West whose powers have weakened. But the young Africa, symbolized by the young tree, stands alone. So it is splendid because it is free from oppression and has regained its ancient nobility. that grandeur and dignity. The emergent young Africa is lonely because it has to build its future all by itself. So there will be many obstacles, and so the process may not be easy. Hence, she tells that you need to be patient. The young African should be strong willed, or else he cannot overcome the obstacles. So, there is no need for the poet to feel disheartened. So, Mother Africa wants the poet that the children of Africa will taste the bitter fruit of liberty. So, liberty refers to the political freedom which most of the African colonies have obtained from the Europeans. And the poem warns that the future is not going to be very pleasant for the Africans. Take the note, the future is not going to be very pleasant. Free Africa must learn to get used to freedom, or else it might lead to danger. The modern African states have seen a lot of violence, bloodshed, and fighting among their own tribes. So, if the natives are not strong willed, they cannot enjoy the fruits of their freedom. So, this is a paradoxical situation where liberty is, after all, a long looked for thing by every native of Africa, and so it must be sweet, but it is described as bitter. It is described as a bitter taste of liberty because the newly acquired freedom demands much discipline from the natives. The Mother Africa sees that there is some conflicts and bloodshed among the tribes itself. So you must be disciplined. Don't be impatient. So thus the poem ends on a melancholic tone. So in Diop's poem Africa, we hear the voice of the oppressed humanity and the victory over apartheid in South Africa in recent times. So it stresses the importance of the poem, how the Africa was in past and in future also, how the natives should behave for a free Africa.